Severance fans. Welcome to Tori Talks with Dr. S. I'm Tori. This is Dr. S. So I know Severance, it has not been on for a very long time, but there is going to be a season 2 in January. I'm so excited.
Cannot wait for this.
It's one of the most intriguing shows we've ever seen. So what we thought we would do is do a rewatch of season 1, and then we'll talk about the episodes one by one. So today we'll talk about Severance season 1, episode 1. It's called Good News About Hell. Okay?
Okay, so I just have to preface this by saying it's a rewatch, so we already know what's gonna happen. At least I think, I kind of remember, but we're rewatching so that we can have it fresh in our minds for season 2.
Yes.
So we'll try to review it, but we also know stuff. So so if we say oh, this alludes to something that happened,
Yes, so
in other words, there are spoilers.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it,
We'll put rewatch in the thumbnail, so to warn you.
Okay, well, it started off with, so I was remembering, I didn't remember how the first scene went, but how she wakes up, Helly wakes up face down on a boardroom style table, and they're like, "Do you know who you are?" An intercom asking. I was like, "Oh yeah, that was the intrigue."
It brought you right back in. It's such a good opening.
Yes,
so much is laid out in this first episode. I forgot how much.
Yes, me too.
So much foreshadowing.
Yes.
Yes.
And it could have been anything. You literally have no idea what the show is about just by that, and you're like, "Oh my God, is she okay?" I mean, there's so many questions. That's really the draw. Is like, okay, tell me more. And then we get to know who the person is on the other side of the intercom. But first you're just like, what are you doing to this poor woman?
Yes.
When we find out, she volunteered for this. But, again, later. So Mark is really our main character, played by Adam Scott.
Who I find so intriguing. Not in a sexy hot way, but every time he's on the screen, I'm just so intrigued.
I can see.
Yeah.
I can see it. I see the charisma. I don't even know what it is.
I don't know.
He doesn't have a lot of
He's
charisma
even
here.
it's not even it's just a why are you so fascinating type person. Any character he plays.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, he starts off by, crying in his car, as we all do before we have to go into work. He enters Lumen Industries, I think it is. So that's the building, and he goes up this elevator where he changes. So
where
now
he does this little
bloop, and we find out that he has volunteered to be severed. So
it's so fascinating because the title of the show, it's Severance. So I'm like, what is this about?
Yes.
Severance is like a severance package.
I know.
So that's what you immediately think of, but then you realize severing is the severing of work-life balance, separating your work from your life.
Right. Your memories of your life you cannot remember them when you're at work and vice versa.
Yes.
Right? So we do know why he probably chose it, because he's grieving the loss of his wife who died, and I think a car accident is the way they said it. So we know that he probably wants to be distracted at work,
And he can't work. He quit his job as a professor, I think, right? So he wasn't able to go back to work because he's so in mourning about his wife. So he chooses to go through this process so that he can be a better worker. It's all really in the service of the job.
Yeah.
Not really for him, right? But I guess he has to make a living.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I didn't pick up on this last time, but when his sister Devin takes him to this dinner party or whatever, I forgot how taboo it was to be severed. You kind of get the opinion of the other people of oh, okay, you really did that. It's
they're kind of looking down on you, you're like a tool.
Yeah.
I think because it's in the service of the company, the business, right?
Yes.
And not really in the service of the person.
Yeah.
You're kind of not being true to yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's controversial.
Yeah. And it's supposed to be his personal information to share. So when it gets shared for him, it's you don't talk about that.
Yeah, it's very interesting because that's totally how it would go if that was a real thing. You'd have people be naysayers or people that are question it. But he did it, and I mean, you can tell in his personal life he's not a very happy man.
No.
He's just very stoic. But anyway, back at work when he's severed. I guess you're severed both ways. But he works in macro data refinement. Sounds really interesting.
And when you see what they're doing on the screen, they're putting numbers into a box. What is that for? It's clearly not for anything.
Right.
This is all an experiment,
this is
right?
social, not social, it's an experiment.
Yeah, to see if this is a
Societal
viable thing to do in the world, right?
Right.
It's a test. And if it's successful here, then we do this everywhere.
Yeah.
To make good workers.
Right. Yeah.
That's messed up.
Yeah. I mean, we do get, because everything just seems really mundane, even though the color grading is really and there's like long hallways, and it's just really sad and down. But we do get kind of a colorful cast of characters in his coworkers. We have Irv, played by John Turturro. Hello.
He's so good.
No, I know.
I keep forgetting who it is too, because he's so good in that character.
Yes.
I'm like, who's this guy again? Oh yeah.
So good. And he seems to be the one that's been there the longest, and he's very kooky. And then we also have Dylan, who just wants nothing more than a waffle party. So he's really fun. And then, of course, Helly, who is... So basically, then there's Petey. I forgot all about Petey.
Yeah,
so
I didn't know Petey got introduced so early.
Yeah.
I forgot that.
Right.
I know Petey's important, but I was like, oh, shoot, like right away.
Yeah, well, Petey's no longer with the company, but this is Mark's best friend. But then he takes his position, and then he's the guy in the intercom who, I guess, initiates the new... people coming in.
The orientation.
Yeah. So, and he doesn't do a very good job of it. That's okay. And then his boss is Patricia Arquette.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes.
She's a little scary.
Yeah. So very scary.
A little bit.
Yes.
His neighbor, Mrs. Selvig, who makes a big deal about her trash and putting the trash out, is her.
Okay. So then I forgot also that reveal happened in the first episode.
Yeah.
Because we know this. So what a contrast, right? It's like, okay, she's this scary, scary person in the office. And then at home, she's like an annoying neighbor who keeps like doing the trash thing.
Yes.
And then my question was like, is she severed?
I know. I forgot if she is just, that's her severed.
Yeah.
No, but then I think
I know she's not. I think
not.
she's not. She's just staying close to Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's like just keeping an eye on, because it's an experiment. I actually never thought about it as an experiment the first rewatching.
I didn't either.
But this time I'm like, oh, this is a total experiment to see if this could be rolled out in mass.
Yes.
Oh.
So same thing. So I highly recommend you rewatch it if you haven't already. So also the part that touched me a little bit more, I don't remember being that affected, is when Petey finds him in the real life, and he's like, we're best friends, and like it's so sad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't remember how that all pans out, but obviously Petey got out.
I thought it was funny how Petey was like, well, you're one of my good friends. I'm your best friend.
I'm your best friend.
And it totally was a great line, because it shows like, that's where Mark is. Like, he doesn't have anyone.
Right.
And that was his work friend was his best friend.
Yeah.
So, I know. I kind of vaguely remember what's going to happen later with Petey, but I guess this is Mark, right?
Yes.
Opportunity to see, like, is he going to go after, like, try to find out, or is he going to want to because he made that choice to sever.
Yep.
So if he pursues Petey, then it's basically automatically like you're no longer severed.
Yeah.
So he has to make the choice, right? Because he wants to just have like,
the separation.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. I just keep forgetting how good the show is. I'm so glad we're doing this. But yeah, I mean, I remember mostly what happens. I remember what happens with Helly. But yeah, just getting there, I don't remember all the details of it all. But
yeah, I'm so excited for this rewatch because we've been looking forward to this coming back for a long time. And I was late to the Severance game because you watched it when it first came out and you kept telling me to watch it. And then when I finally did, I was like, we missed an opportunity to do weekly reviews.
Totally.
So I'm so glad we're doing it now.
Absolutely we are. Well, okay, so we'll stop there. That was episode 1 of season 1. And this is going to be a fun rewatch. We're going to watch literally every week, and then it'll be right up to the premiere of the new season. Okay, everybody, if you've watched Severance, comment below. Let us know what you thought of it. And we'll see you again next week for episode 2. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.